Hi, my name is Kumbukani Piri, and today I have a unique message for you. Are you building with generations in mind? If you study great leaders of history, they built with generations in mind. You will find successful leaders who did well in their generation, but if they failed to impact future generations, they came, lived their time, but after they were gone, everybody forgot. And I believe if we're going to really have an impact, if we're really going to change our communities, if we're really going to bring transformation, we must build with generations in mind. One of the things you will pick up in the Bible, it is very clear that the Bible is a multi-generational book. If you scan all the Old Testament books, scan all the New Testament books, they were written over multiple generations. And yet within each of those books, there is a thread of God's agenda for mankind, God's plan for mankind. We must think with generations in mind. There's what's called the principle of 4 generations. If you study the Bible, you'll actually pick up that there seems to be a pattern that whenever God was trying to establish something, he would work over 4 generations. So let's look at one case study very quickly. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph. These are actually the patriarchs. God is laying a foundation for a nation that does not yet exist. Abraham has the vision. Isaac carries the mission or the heart. When you get to Jacob, you begin to see the values being formed. By the time you get to Joseph, there's a strategy. So you don't jump to a national strategy in one generation. God actually takes these nomads, and we see there the principle of 4 generations being established. A man called David Hamilton says, if you want to continue a movement for 1,000 years, you have to establish the line of 4 generations. And so I want to leave you with this thought. If we're going to have an impact, we must think multi-generationally. Not only must we think multi-generationally, but within our generation, we must network the generations. So I want to repeat that. This is critical. Not only must we think multi-generationally, but within that one generation, we must network the generations. Because within every generation, you have what I call the Samuels, the baby Samuels, between the age of 0 and 10. You have what I call the Davids, between the age of 11 and 17 and 18, the teenagers. You have what I call the Timothys, between the age of 20 and 35. And then you have the Pauls, who are 36 to 50. And then you have the Annas and the Simeons, who are 55 to 80 and onwards. Basically, within every generation, there are generational groupings. We must network the generations. I want to challenge you. Are you building multi-generationally?